They all about to kick you like, across the street. I'm laughing. You're like, wait, what?
Oh, I know who that is. My heart's beating.
Hola Mi Gente, we're back again on another episode of
Raices NYC. And on this episode, we have
Bryan from Cholita. Hello, hello.
We love the coffee. We love all the Raices. Yeah, we have our own signature signature drink. What made you want to, open up, this coffee shop and go by the name too? I know you've probably been asked about this, but also to our viewers who are curious about it, who watch it.
For sure, yeah. So, Cholita's about to be 2 years old in June.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And I've actually never been in coffee, but I opened the shop to celebrate our culture, celebrate Ecuadorian culture, which I think is one of the cultures that I guess dominates New York City, especially here in Queens, and just kind of hold space for our community, being Latino, and the ongoing issue and topic of gentrification and modern day colonialism. We gotta hold space for the people that made New York City happen, and why not do it with a space where people can hang out, meet each other, and also just enjoy a cup of coffee.
about Cholita, the name. I think you mentioned that it was used in a derogatory term before.
Yeah, so before Cholita used to be a derogatory term against the indigenous Andean woman. So this is a Cholita right here. But the Ecuadorian Cholita, the Cholita Cuencana, originates from Cuenca, and that's where my family's from. And they're known for their bowler hats, their two braids, and their pollera, which is the traditional skirt. And now I think as time went by, it became more acceptable, maybe in a lack of a better way to say it, but accept your indigenous roots, accept the culture you grew up in, the traditional garments and the way you look. And now people are celebrating that, and especially seeing Cholita as having good professions and having a place in government and showing out for the people and society. I think naming it Cholita is a way to celebrate not only the roots, but the successes and the come up Cholita's had, that even extending it to people that within the Latino culture has had too. So especially right now, you see a lot of people celebrating their culture in fashion brands and coffee shops. So I think it's a representation of all of that.
And I think you use your clothing. You're wearing Paisa Boys and
shout out
Paisa.
Paisa Boys, yeah.
I noticed right away. I was
Yeah,
wow.
shout out Paisa Boys,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
it used to be also a derogatory term, right? You would be like, oh, it's a Paisa or some shit like that,
Yeah.
right? You would hear it around. So there are these terms coming around, and we're reclaiming those names, reclaiming our identities, in a way.
Celebrating it more than anything now. I think years ago too, you would see Latinos shying away from saying where they're from.
Yeah, being scared to say what their roots, their
Yeah.
ethnicity and all of that. Now, again, we feel free to just express it. I see also it's not just also a cafe; it's also a gallery. What made you want to also include that into?
Yeah,
The space.
the gallery portion. I've always been into art. I've always been around, I guess, kind of that scene, especially with family. My dad taught me how to draw, and a lot of my family members are also artists in the
Yeah.
graphic design world and Ecuador and stuff. So I think also being in this city and having all these galleries, but seeing very little representation of people with Latino roots or POC roots, I want to hold space for that too. We can help show off your work, represent you, and have people see culture through the photographer or the artist lens.
Yeah.
So right now we have Saul Barajas Alvarez, who this is his second installation
Shout
here
out.
in
Wow. Yeah.
the,
Shout out to Sal.
the gallery space,
Mhm.
and shows off what it is that he sees to be Mexican.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I remember his first installation was through the lens of being someone living in New York and having Mexican roots. So
Wow.
repping Puebla, York.
Yeah.
And now it's actually repping what it is to be Mexican in Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. So
Mhm.
with every artist, there's always intention behind it. What do they see? Oh, or what do people see through their
Mhm.
eyes?
No, yeah. Definitely. I feel also, with a lot of artists, very talented artists and photographers, sometimes they're not given an opportunity to showcase their work, or some spaces they deny them because they're still on the wait list.
Exactly.
But what I see with Cholitas is you do it each month, you show new work, and people are able to see wow, this person created this, or this person is trying to show us through this. Because again, there are very talented people, but it's just not many people want to open those doors yet to them, or just holding it in the wait list.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So if we can do it, we're gonna do it. So
Yeah.
we're here.
You also mentioned that you had no experience coming into the coffee world
You're like, yeah.
Hilarious, actually.
Yeah, but it's it's very commendable. It's inspiring to see you have your shop here in New York City. You may not know it or you may not like see it, but you are inspiring the younger generation
you.
to be like, you know what? If Bryan can do it, I can open up my own little coffee
appreciate it.
shop.
Thank you.
So definitely thank you for holding that space for creators
I
and
appreciate it.
everybody else in the community. But why coffee?
Well, growing up, I think, we've been drinking coffee since we were drinking out of baby bottles. I think every Latino culture, for the most part.
Yeah.
El café con pan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Café
yeah.
con
Every
pan.
time before you go to sleep, you get café con pan for some reason too.
Exactly.
We didn't get Julio's donuts, but
Oh.
that's a
That's
Soon. But yeah, growing up, coffee has been huge. Like every Saturday, every Sunday, my family would always go to like our nearest Colombian bakery. So we have like pan de bono, almojábanas,
Oh wow. Okay.
buñuelos, and your café. And then I see coffee as like a way to bring people together too. You go out to a bar to socialize. You go out to a coffee shop to socialize and meet each other, meet people. And I think coffee does a good job in like pulling that community in. And then coffee has always been a big interest in mine, especially Ecuadorian coffee. Ecuadorian coffee exists. It's really good, but you don't hear too much about it. Like it's not in many coffee shops.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
So I think
it's not really talked about.
it's
all
pretty
your
rare.
coffee.
Yeah, so what we use in our bar, it's all Ecuadorian. So I think that's a big part too of why I wanted to make a coffee is like, let me be a part of like showing out what country like Ecuador has like can provide. We have good coffee, so let me put that on the map. In our mocha drink, like we use Ecuadorian cacao, so it's like this is another product that comes from Ecuador. Let's rep it instead of just using like your
typical
like
no basic stuff over here. We different.
So I think that's a little of why I wanted to do coffee. It's just a way to bring people together. I think. Yeah.
From the beginning, when you opened also your location, did you already have an idea of how you wanted to structure it, how you wanted it designed, or slowly it just came?
The planning kind of came a year before I opened. So I was actually in the military, and the year before I left the military, I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And I was like, let me open up the shop, and let me just start studying it. So I think the structure and the learning behind like what it takes to run a coffee shop, what it takes to run a business, it all came slowly, progressively, like just learning the little thing from like running the business to even just like making latte art. So I think it took some time. It was like a lot of self-learning, a lot of YouTube, a lot of patience.
YouTube University.
Yeah. I think a lot of that, little by little.
The transition, from being in the military to now, being an owner of a coffee shop, is just like, how was that? Because it's just like right away.
Yeah.
What was your experience towards that?
That's funny because like I feel like I don't even know if there was an experience. I think the experience is just kind of taking it day by day. But I think I jumped into city life quick.
Okay.
It was I think a little difficult just because like I guess we were already like programmed or structured to live a military life. Coming here, it was like, oh, okay, I get to like just chill out and I get to go on my own pace. That hit kind of like different. But I mean, it was good. You have support from family and friends and like now coworkers.
And you're very family oriented.
Very huge support from my parents too. So they understand it. So it's
I feel like the military definitely helped you. There's a lot of like life lessons that you can take from that.
Definitely.
A lot of discipline, which I think you can carry very well into running a business. So I think you've done that transition fairly well.
Thank you.
Or how did your parents react towards when you were like, okay, I'm done with the military. I want to open up a coffee shop. Because the parents are always going to be your first people who judge you. Sometimes we don't care what anyone says, but when our parents say something, you're like, oh, or like any comment, you're just like, oh man. Like I don't know if you ever went through that when you told them.
Of course. It's actually really funny because when I told my parents, I remember I told my mom first. She was really supportive. I told my dad, he was kind of like on the fence about it. He was like questioning it. He's like, well, what do you know about it? And I'm like, I don't know anything. But I was like, let's trust the process. My parents have always taught me the sacrifice, patience, experience. That's what brings you to your target goal. Using that, I just had to reassure my parents, like, trust me. Like, I'm gonna make this happen. These are the reasons why I want to make it happen. And as time went by too, like after I opened up the shop, they were like, it happened. So, and I think doing it for good reasons, like holding space for our community, especially like Latinos, they see the best reason that the shop opened, and now they're extremely supportive, and you see it from like the whole community too. So I'm really grateful for that as well.
Yeah, every time we pass by, there's huge lines out the door as well. People coming in and out, and people stay outside, they chat, they interact with the community as well. So it's definitely opened the space for that.
Yeah, like we noticed today, like you had like maybe what, like 5 minutes to relax for a moment, and then out of nowhere, boom, like just a huge wave, and you guys are back. It's just like boom, boom. Yeah. You saw the little moments. I know you cherish the little 5 minute breaks or anything. Yeah. You're like, okay. Do you have any goals, like what's next after in the next few years?
A lot of it is kind of like remaining the same, supporting the people that support us, planning for pop-ups, so continue to support artists, supporting the community, even just through their first cup of coffee every single day. So I think little things like that make a big impact. Big impact. So yeah,
we'll have Cholita worldwide.
Cholita worldwide.
Cholita spots in every borough.
Yeah, we actually did a pop-up in Paris. So
yeah, we saw that. How was that?
It was crazy. It was such an amazing opportunity to pop up in Paris, especially at Del Carmen, which is also POC owned and Latina owned as well. So in Paris too, it kind of felt like New York, where like there's this Latino diaspora, and you go over there to make repping the culture happen, and people come out, we threw a party, people were dancing. So it was a good time.
How long was the Paris trip?
So we went for a week, but it was a 3-day pop-up, and then 4 days just to kind of like chill out, explore.
Any experience that you learned that you brought here, or something new that you're like, wow, actually do it this way over there? Maybe I'll bring some of that over here too.
I gotta learn French. Yeah.
You gotta learn French?
I gotta learn French if I'm gonna go next time. But no, besides that, I think any lessons, not really, but I think the whole experience has been very reassuring that, like I said, like opening the shop for this specific reason, it also works in a place like Paris where like the Latino community is huge but very hidden. Yeah. And then us being over there, or even Del Carmen being over there, makes that impact. People come out, people feel represented, people feel safe to be in these spaces.
When they see someone like from NYC going to Paris, from the community, they're just like, wow, like if they're able to do this, I could do this. Exactly. Or they get inspired to do something like that. Yeah. But it is hard work, and it does takes patience and time. How do you feel about that? Like you're inspiring others to do more.
It feels good. It feels really good. I guess me inspiring them, or like the shop inspiring them. I take inspiration from a lot of that too. Even with Del Carmen, or even meeting the people that we have met over there, taking that leap of faith and being like, you know what, I'm gonna rep my community in a place where like you don't hear about it at all. You don't really see a Latino grocery store in every corner like you see here. Getting that inspiration of just like taking that leap of faith and doing something that's right, especially for the people that support you and the people you want to rep. I think that continues to push me to continue to do that.
Yeah, and I think we get a lot of inspiration from our parents. They moved here from another country and they had nothing, and they made a whole life over here. So I think you've definitely probably pulled a lot of inspiration from that. Seeing your parents,
and just seeing like the people like in New York City, hearing stories too. Even just seeing people like start really small to doing something very impactful. Even just artists capturing pictures and showing it like in a space in New York City. For example, like if someone is not able to go back home to see their family, to see their culture, to see their country, they can do it through like photos here. So I think that's a very big thing where you grab that inspiration. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do it for them too. Like even with their drinks, like you have like cocada, Raices, the taste of cacao in our mocha. People miss that from home, so maybe they can't get it here, but you can have a taste of it in our coffee.
And you've done your research. You said that you went to Ecuador to pull the resources for that. How was your experience like traveling over there?
When I was going to Ecuador more often when I was younger, I guess just remembering the different little things that even just like what my dad would get excited about. Like my dad has a big sweet tooth. So him enjoying like candies and like little desserts like cocadas or leche miel, which is like a milk and honey hard candy.
Okay.
It was like it was really nice to see that he was enjoying it, and I was like, okay, maybe they don't have it here in New York City. But we could bring something similar to that for people
Yeah.
that can't make it out to Ecuador.
Okay. Okay.
So I think a lot of that is the inspiration and the experience that I think going over there I was able to bring back here.
But you've always been from this area, from Queens.
I'm from
New York.
Queens, yeah. Astoria, Jackson Heights, yeah.
Okay.
Repping Jackson Heights. So.
I love to see it because we see a lot of people that come from like different states, different countries and stuff. But like somebody who has been here for a while, who's been raised here, we don't get to see a lot of those stories either. Just because we're like so focused on our day to day, our work, But it's
Just
definitely
hustling,
just hustling, and it's really inspirational to see somebody from the neighborhood doing something so big
Thank
as
you.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like because of social media, do you feel like that's why you're being able to reach out to more people, more communities, also in other boroughs?
I feel like especially now you see a lot of big connections being made. Like, oh, this person's doing something very similar. Let's connect. Let's collab. Let's make something happen.
No, yeah.
So I think that's good too. Like mutual support, mutual collab. So.
And the more you start noticing that, NYC becomes smaller and smaller,
Definitely,
because
yeah.
everyone knows each other. I feel like we interacted to that part too. Like, wait, how you know this one? Like, oh no, how you?
And then running into people in like the most unexpected times and spots too. So it's like, oh, wow,
Yeah,
y'all know each other too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just it is Cholita, it is you, it's Bryan. You might be the face of it, but I think it's also your team, the people that you've hired, and you've created a little world in here.
Shout out my coworkers. Yeah, the whole team became family. Everyone supports like our mission behind like why even like we open up the shop, and they're very consistent with it. So perfect. Yeah, I love them. Yeah.
We've wanted to come here for a while too, and then when we finally found the time to come, it was like wow, like it was crazy.
I actually heard of this place like 2 years ago. My friend was like, oh yeah, there's like a really nice cafe in Queens. It's called Cholitas, and I was like, oh, intrigued by the name, obviously, right? But also I was like, oh, it's in Queens. I'm like, oh, it's kind of far. I'm in Brooklyn, so I'm like, but I guess with divine timing, we always talk about that. It wasn't my time to like come here and explore until now, and so I think we definitely matched up with perfect timing.
And talking about divine timing, things always happen like when the universe says it's time to go here when you're in the perfect mindset. Like she said, like, it was a bit far. Now you see us every weekend. They're like, oh, dumb again.
I'm gonna bother you guys again.
All I'm gonna get this guy laughing out loud, bro. He's outside. I hear him across the street. I'm laughing. He's like, wait, what?
Oh, I know who that is. But I'm grateful for that. Thank y'all for like even just pulling up, making that trip over here. So.
And I think again it goes back to thanks to social media. We've been able to communicate with everybody, and gather all the boroughs, all the people, the Latino communities come together. And I would say, like, social media has helped your business greatly. Do you believe in that statement?
Yeah, with social media too. Like, I kind of like even just opening the shop, I kept it very low key. Like, I didn't do any announcement. I was just like, let's just see. Let me just try to make it happen. So our Instagram, for example, like I put little like static pictures of like cholitas or like just
Ecuadorian culture. It's definitely curated.
Yeah. So I think a little bit of that, like showing off the culture, giving people like bits of like Ecuadorian life through the lens of like someone with Ecuadorian background. You don't really hear unless you're like Ecuadorian, but this is what Cuenca has to offer. These are las cholitas. This is our culture.
No, you say you want to learn French too, but how do you feel like your Spanish is? We speak English. We also speak Spanish. Are we si sabo or like yo no sabo?
Our parents taught us Spanish.
Yeah.
First thing, and then like English was after, and then it's only Spanish in the house. Even back here with my coworkers, like we're like speaking Spanish. Yeah. So yeah, I think Spanish is just life. So I actually moved to Wisconsin for college and Washington.
Okay.
That's where I was stationed for the military.
Yeah.
So there was not much of a big like Latino community. So
yeah.
Like, speaking Spanish like was very rare. But when I could, like usually like I would call my parents like every week. That was the most Spanish I've spoken. But if I was able to talk to somebody in the street or go to like a restaurant where there were like people that spoke Spanish, I had to make it happen. Now coming back, it's like Spanish.
We want to get into this little segment that we like to get to test how your Spanish is.
Put me on the spot.
Can we speak Spanish? We'll see right now.
I'm gonna just blank. Yeah, hopefully not. But
you can do blank.
We'll see. We're all a little no sabo,
Oh
but
yeah.
Thank you to Yo Sabo the game. Well, actually, let's start with Julio.
Oh, where?
Yeah,
okay.
We gotta put you on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
You ready?
Yeah. No.
You said it like
¿Cómo se dice stretch?
Estirar.
There we go.
Yeah, no que no.
Got it. This is one that like people confuse. ¿Cómo se dice 60? Like the number.
Oh, 60? 60?
Got it.
Yeah, come on, man. Oh, you want to play like that? Oh. ¿Cómo se dice stumbled?
Tropezar.
Okay. Oh.
Got him.
easy money.
Oh, okay.
My heart's beating.
¿Cómo se dice locker?
Oh,
Locker.
That's crazy.
The audience, you know how to say.
This is where we cue the crickets. Oh my god.
Casillero.
Nah.
In a way.
That's not
Yeah,
real.
it's casillero. Yeah, for you.
Oh, for me? Oh,
Yeah. Greens are easy, and the orange is.
oh, now you want to explain it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Oh, you should have told me that first.
Oh, no.
¿Cómo se dice sweeping?
Oh, she don't do that, so she don't know. It was, I said that out loud.
You don't do that?
I don't know.
Like sweeping the action.
Yeah, like sweep.
Sweeping.
Sweeping.
Barrer.
Yeah. Barriendo.
Okay.
Okay.
¿Cómo se dice forest?
Oh.
Forest? Shit. I don't even go to a forest.
Yeah.
There's El Bosque.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bosque.
okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Alright.
We're all your sabos.
Well, no, I got them all wrong. Did I get
You
them?
got him wrong? I'm gonna say you got him wrong.
Run the tape back.
Run the table.
So now we have another segment called Spooky Scary Time or Paranormal Activity
Yeah,
Time.
Don't
Do you
tickle your feet or anything like that?
Oh,
La
yeah.
Llorona?
Yeah.
But do you have a moment that was like, you know, you've experienced something like that?
In the store or anything like
You
that?
know
Oh,
what?
in the store?
Oh,
Oh, you
I
know,
like chills.
You don't want to
what's
get locked
crazy?
up in here.
no,
Oh,
don't get locked up in here.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I've actually never experienced anything paranormal. Like, but when I was little, there would always be like, have you heard of like Primer Impacto?
Yeah.
Like you would hear those segments of like some paranormal stuff and like they
Yeah.
go in con las brujas. I used to watch it and be like, this stuff is about to happen. Like I'm gonna run into this stuff one day. So I think as a kid, like watching that, like when I was 7, I'd be like just trying to expect it, almost like
it put you
manifesting
on
it.
high
Yeah.
alert. Like,
Yeah, it put you on high alert and trying to see like if I could catch a witch somewhere or like un duende.
That's why you didn't experience it. Because they say when you look for it, no te aparece. Because they know that, like, oh, you can handle it. Like, oh, little duende right here.
Yeah.
You know?
Real quick.
Oh.
Yeah. A big fear of mine, now that I remember, it used to be mirrors. I saw this video. I remember that like it was in like a beauty salon, and there was like this little girl getting her haircut, and she turned around, but her reflection stayed. I was like, nah, oh, hell no. I used to be scared of mirrors or like photographs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
sometimes like I would think the eyes were following me. So I
no
think
wonder there's
Yeah.
no mirrors here.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh. He goes to the bathroom and be like,
yeah.
oh, I caught
I
you.
think that was a big fear of mine too. Like I was like, my reflection better not like just play with me.
Were you like afraid of Chucky as you were a little kid or anything?
The Ring.
Oh.
The scene of that girl coming out of the
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
out of the TV. I remember a few days I was just freaked out. I was like, hell no. Now Chucky I found pretty funny.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, nah. Yo, I couldn't watch Chucky. Yo, when my
No?
parents would watch Chucky, they'll go to the other room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll peek like through the little thing, like, oh no, I'm scared.
You know he's low-key scared of his dog.
You know, these
I'm scared of your dog.
low key, you know, not too bad by spirit. I feel like they protect me, but they do. Some say they move.
Who said that?
I'm just gonna say.
Get them
some-
checked out.
You never experienced stuff like that?
No, never. Thank goodness. Because I think even with scary movies, sometimes like I'll like jump easy.
Yeah.
Safe space. How about yo? Did y'all like experience like the paranormal stuff?
Actually, yeah, I saw Ghost Baby when I stayed in Mexico.
yeah.
Ghost Baby, what is it?
Yeah, I was in Mexico just chilling in my room, and I knocked out. Then I wake up, and I had my knee up, and so I see some little kid, like a little baby, say, "Vamos a jugar, come." And then he runs to the living room, and I hear the light turn on, and from there I just hear a kid laughing like, "Ha ha," and you hear like the pots moving and everything, like someone playing around, running, and I froze. And my cousins were sleeping on top of the bunk bed. And I'm just like, it was 5, so I'm like, we have to wake up they have to wake up in 20 minutes because we got to go somewhere. So I just stay on my phone, the whole time. I don't even move my feet. I just like that.
Oh no.
But I swear I heard him play. Then I hear them wake up, and I told my aunt. I heard like a little kid, like told me, "Vamos a jugar on that." And they looked at me like, "Oh." I'm like, "What you mean, oh?" Yeah, like, so you saw the baby? I'm like, "Is this a thing?" Yeah, like years before like your parents bought this place. Apparently, there's a story that a baby died and they buried it under like
Under the house?
property.
Oh no.
It was so scary.
No, can't do that.
Yeah. So coming to an end to scary story. Any last words you want to give to anyone or advice that wants to open up a coffee shop or wants to figure out what they want to do?
I would definitely say always take the leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Be patient with yourself. Sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice time. I think that's one thing that like my parents has always taught me.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna come easy. You have to put in the work. But overall, do what you like to do and do what you want to do. I don't think one should follow pressures of society. I think that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I don't think you always have to be wearing a suit all the time, but do something that is genuine to yourself, to the people that you want to do it for, and move on with that. That's some advice that I would pass down to anybody that like my parents has taught me.
Yeah.
And I'll always live by that. And just have fun.
Yeah.
Don't be too hard on yourself, although that's like easier said than done.
Yeah.
We always say that,
Yeah.
you know, if you're not having fun, then what's the point of doing it? You know, and
Exactly.
obviously every day can't be fun.
No,
You know, you have tough days.
Of course,
you know.
definitely.
But when you do have those bad days, what do you remind yourself of, like, you know, to keep going?
Use it as an experience. I always reflect from my time back in the military, and I joined right after college. I was like 22 when I joined, so I was a little older than the people that joined right after high school. So they were like younger, 18, 19, and joined right after high school, not knowing what to do after high school, not necessarily wanting to go to college. And think through that experience, and I've experienced it myself too, like seeing people kind of have like a tough time with like military life and trying to still figure out their life as time is flying by.
Yeah.
I would say with those bad experiences or like difficult experiences, use it as a lesson and move forward. Improve, fix things that you think you gotta fix. And I know I keep using this word, but the experience is your best lesson. The experience is the only thing that can keep pushing you forward, even if it's a bad experience.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you always learn a lot more from the bad experiences.
Definitely. It's like you know what to do, you know what not to do. Even with like just the shop in general, even just like making a profit is not gonna come quick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be patient
No,
with
definitely.
that. Yeah. I mean, and there's time that you have to sacrifice too. Like the first 2 to 3 months that I opened up the shop, I was working 7 days a week.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So even with that, I was like, if you want to make something happen, if you put in this time, it's gonna repay you.
Yeah.
So just sacrifice.
Yeah, thank you again for being in our podcast, and also we'll be having our June 1st.
Yeah.
Estamos aquí
Right.
gathering here at Cholita. Save the
Pull
date
up.
from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And just thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this and show everyone's work and art and sharing it with the community.
Always, yeah. That's why we're here.
Just save the date, June 1st.
June 1st,
Pull
Estamos
up,
Aquí
pull
Gallery. A lot of interactive events, a lot of free items we'll be giving out. So come out, come explore,
Have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun.
All right.
We're done. We're done. Bye.
Thank you again.
Thank you.